Alright, first want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, double honors to the Apostle El's great minister on the rule well. Salutations to the Akim teaching words here in truth, and blessings to the elect, and the 1/3 of Israelites scattered worldwide predestined to be saved. And it's all about the elect, which is all men, 12,000 men for each Israelite tribe. And the 1/3 of our people are scattered worldwide, man. Okay? Those are the only people that are going to be saved. Now, I came across this video, and it's going to be a quick video. It's not going to be that long. I always say that, but it won't be that long. And I heard about all this stuff, but apparently there was a slave Bible. So we're going to watch a little news clip that I saw online. All right? And that shows you that this man is nothing but a devil, man. And the word devil means deceiver. And the ones of our people that are sticking up for this devil, especially our women, you're going to perish, man. Believe that, man. All right? You're going to perish, man. Okay? I'll give you a good example, man. This is no word of a lie, man. My aunt, who I love dearly, all right? Just before the pandemic, in December 27th, 2019, all right? Because we don't celebrate Christmas and all that. It's all pagan. And that shows you how wicked we were in the Middle Ages, because even around the time and during the Civil War, the English Civil War, Cromwell, the parliamentarians, they outlawed Christmas because they said it's bullshit. And they're right, man. Okay? Even though they were hypocrites themselves, and they were Edomites, man. All right? Edomites versus Edomites, who had the parliament, control of parliament, versus Israelites, who we had the royalty. Charles the First, who was King James, his second-born son, because his firstborn son died when he was very young. When he was swimming in the Thames, he got typhus fever and died. All right? But the English Civil War was us versus them. After that war, they deported us to the colony of slaves, and that's when they started whitewashing all of our history. And if anyone is interested, the ones that have ears to ear, the ones that aren't interested, if you go to our channel, click on videos, right? It's an old video I did, but it will explain things very well, because a huge chunk of the slaves in America came from Europe. All right, they came from Europe, man. It was a span of when we were falling. So it was 1453. We fell in Constantinople, which is today Istanbul, Turkey, really up until the mid 1700s, where we started to fall in places like Russia and places like that. All right, and but if you want to know about the English Civil War and Oliver Cromwell, what he did, and even on the documentary that I did, I put a clip in there, and even the white man said, "Yep, the royalists were sent to Barbados," and he said, "and not on holiday." Yeah, they were sent there as slaves. All right, so the slave trade happened in Europe. Now I've got a video on it. It's very old, so. But yeah, I've got loads of videos on the Middle Ages. I've got the truth about King James, part 1 and part 2 here. All right, so people that want to know, what's there? Oh, I've got a couple of books, Hebrew Israelite Hidden History book about us ruling Europe. So I've got 2 videos there, part 1, part 2, and these are good books to get, and they're very cheap as well. And the red one there, that's called The Negro Question, part 4. The Missing Link by Lee Cummins. All right, so The Negro Question, part 4. So you can Google that yourself, man. All right. At the end of the day, we're serving you, but you have to do your own due diligence. Now, this is the video I'm talking about, Oliver Cromwell and the Black Irish. All right, because in England, I think it was in 1348, we had a plague, and it wiped out half the population. So after that, it was mainly us, but whites had filled positions in the in our positions in England, all the way up into sadly nobility, and that's how they eventually in the 1600s took us down. But if you watch this documentary that I did, all right, let's click on it for a minute. All right, you can watch it. It's only about 31 minutes, and there's the best comment is this guy here, who is a white Irish guy, and he's actually admitting, he goes, as an Irish born, this is truly mind-blowing. All right, because the tribe of Benjamin, who I tell you, West Indians, they were ruling Ireland and Scotland, especially Ireland, and that's why they have Irish and Scottish surnames like McIntosh, Macaulay, McPherson, McDougall. Let's see, the footballer Raheem Sterling. That's it, Raheem Sterling. Sterling's a Scottish name, and where's he from? All right, he was born in Jamaica, man. Okay, so he doesn't even know that he might know, you never know. See, look, he was born in 1994, Kingston, Jamaica. All right, but when Oliver Cromwell killed Charles I and cut his head off, he hopped over to Ireland and slaughtered them and deported them to the colonies as slaves. And so when we were in slavery, they had to control us, and they had to basically take bits out of the Bible on the plantations to give it to the Negro drivers, the pastors, to teach, so our people can be docile. And this is what this video is about. So we're going to play it here, and we're going to get a couple of scriptures, and then we're just going to close. It's not going to be that long.
Inside Washington's Museum of the Bible, a single volume that is like no other. The so-called Slave Bible. Remarkable not for what's in it, but for what's not.
So about 90% of the Old Testament's been removed, and about 50% of the New Testament's been removed. To put it another way, a normal King James Version has 1,189 chapters in it. The Slave Bible has only 232.
Missing are chapters and verses that might have encouraged uprisings. Book of Exodus, redacted. No story of Moses demanding Pharaoh, let my people go. Gone is Galatians, and the verse, there is neither bond nor free, for ye are all one in Christ Jesus. And no Jeremiah. Woe unto him that useth his neighbor's service without wages.
What they've left in are verses such as Ephesians 6:5, which is the famous verse, slaves, be obedient to your master.
Looking at this Bible, it's hard to tell that anything's been taken out of it.
That's correct. I mean, it looks...
And by the way, that scripture, servants obey your master, Paul was saying to our people, all right, over there in Europe, who he prophesied to, all right, if you are at work, you are a servant, all right? If you work for someone who is your boss, that's your master. So servants obey your masters, so you keep your job, you know? But this devil twisted it around. All right, continue.
Like a normal book. For many enslaved Africans, this would have been the first time they were exposed to the Bible.
A Bible selectively edited to instill obedience, using religion to underpin the horror of slavery. When people encounter this exhibit, what lasting impression do you want them to leave with?
But we want to pass the message on that may this never happen again. The Bible itself is a whole book. It's not one that you get to carve up and use this piece or that piece.
The Slave Bible designed to repress rebellion, but it didn't work. Enslaved people in the Caribbean constantly fought against slavery until emancipation.
I think it's very relevant to understand our history, not just American history, but our African American history, our roots, and how we got to this point.
That's right.
A dark chapter in the history of the good book. Jeff Bennett, NBC News, Washington.
Hey, NBC News.
Yeah, you see how wicked that was? Sorry, just taking a drink there. You see how wicked this devil is? So he took loads of things out of the Bible. So this rubbish that you coconuts, or you people that are blind to its truth, King James is a white man, and the Bible's a white man's book, and King James is a so-called black man. All right. Okay. Just you know, and then there's been times where, all right, we've proven it on the street to our people, right? There was one time in Tottenham, we proved it to this knucklehead, and he said, "Oh, King James was white and he was homosexual," and then we brought out the real picture of King James, and then he was still going on, and he said, "Oh, yeah, but all right, he might have been black, but he's a homosexual." Yeah, but hang on. First of all, you said that he was a white man, nigga. All right. So you were wrong about that. So what else are you wrong about? You see? But he was a stubborn, hard-headed black bastard, man. All right? And the Lord's going to get rid of people like that, man. He was proud. Now, does this look like a so-called white man? And underneath our monarchs, all right, there was laws on buggery, man. Homosexuality, all right? You'll be tried, convicted, and basically executed, man. All right, whether it be by hanging, drawn, quartered, or chopping your head off, or burning you at the stake. Usually, it was burning at the stake. So, the lie of King James being homosexual came from a white man called Anthony Weldon. All right, because that's what they're good at, man. All right, go Google it. Anthony Weldon. This piece of shit, man. Okay, this big head cracker that King James dismissed from the King's Court, man. 25 years after King James died, before the English Civil War to cause discord, he brought out a paper saying King James was a homo. Okay, and that's the reason why our people were furious, man. And I think it was Nottingham Castle. Charles I went there with all our people and said, yeah, we're going to have war with them. And we lost that war. So when our ancestors were transported to America, they had to control them. And as you saw that, they used a slave Bible. And it said it took out bits, they took out Galatians. Yeah, because it says whatever you sow, that shall you also reap. So they took that out. All right, now what does the Bible say about that? All right, Revelations chapter 22, verse 19. And if any man, man, all right, if any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, because this Bible is a book of prophecy. It said we'll go into slavery in ships if we disobeyed the Lord, and we did. It said that he shall be the head, and we shall be the tail, which we are. That's why everyone looks down upon us. Okay? So, sometimes it's true. It's like in this world, sometimes this is not our world. So sometimes when someone assaults you, not assaults you physically, but discriminates against you, I know we have a tendency to how dare they, this, that, and the other. I mean, yeah, you fight, all right, and stand up for yourself. But at the end of the day, some things you gotta let go. You know why? Because it's the white man's world. It's not our world, man. He conquered us. The Lord put the Spirit, for prophecy's sake, He conquered us, and the Lord has put us in a low position, man. Okay, that's why now the Bible says scriptures like agree with thy adversary quickly, lest he throw you in prison. So when the police come and they used to move us on, when we used to teach on the street, I remember at first, when I first came into the truth, the Lord brought me into the truth, I argued with them, and I remember the guy that was the camp leader at the time, he said, no, you're not supposed to be doing that, agree with the adversary quickly, lest he throw you in prison. Okay, so he's the adversary. So this Bible is a book of prophecy, and it prophesied that they will be the adversary, but it also prophesied this, all right? If any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, and that's what you slave-minded AME, coconut coon, I hate myself blacks that go to the Christian church, don't understand that this Bible is a book of prophecy, man. You are not saved already. Alright? We'll see if you're saved when the nuclear missiles come from Russia. Alright? God shall take away his part out of the book of life. All right, and out of the holy city. All right, and the holy city is Jerusalem, and basically the whole world is the holy city is Jerusalem when we're in rulership. But really, if you look at when Yahushua comes down, you know, and rules this planet Earth in righteousness, the Bible tells you that we're going to teach the other nations, all right, by the sword. All right, we're going to bash your heads in first, all right, for what you've done to us, man. And continually, man, the heathen will drink continually. That's what it says in the book of Obadiah. But we're going to teach them the law, statutes, and commandments. All right, and every Israelite is going to be perfect. So even these wicked rappers like DMX, and who's died or whatever, when they're reincarnated, they're going to be righteous, man, and they're going to be ruling over these other nations, man. Okay, so really the whole world is going to be holy. Okay, and out of the holy city, and from the things which are written in this book. All right, so the promises of the kingdom, all right, if you take away words out of the book, which is the Bible, you ain't got a chance. And that shows you that this devil, the Edomites, so-called whites, cannot be saved. All right, they cannot be saved, man. Okay, period, because of what they've done. They had another group called the Bible Destruction Group as well. Okay. All right, and remember when they were doing all that, they were called Christians. Let me just remind you of oh, not this one. It's just a video that I saw earlier on for all our women that want to stick up for these people, man.
Remote assist technology
mind the
allows
advert.
senior technicians to see what
of their humanity, the history of the transatlantic slave.
This is a good video about sexual abuse of African women and really it should say Israelite women, because they were Israelites, man. Okay, and I'll put a link in the description box. Let's just play a bit of it here.
The Lunchtime
Alright.
Trader is basically my 22 years trading and investing experience.
The beginning of abuse and exploitation of these enslaved individuals. So many people do not know how the slave masters and the ship crew members raped and abused enslaved Africans, or the horrors these enslaved individuals were subjected to during the long journey from Africa to Europe. Therefore, in today's video, we are going to expose this very dark history, these evil committed on the slave ships by the slave merchants. But before we proceed with this video, if you haven't subscribed to our channel and you find value in this video, the trauma inflicted upon them about their journey, with sexual abuse serving as one of the many ways in which their humanity was systematically degraded. The trauma inflicted upon them had lasting impacts not only on their physical well-being, but also on their psychological and emotional states. The abuse started from the time of purchase. Women were occasionally displayed at slave auctions, with their bodies exposed to display their ability to become pregnant. Before boarding the slave ships, enslaved Africans underwent intrusive and demeaning inspections.
Yep.
The slave traders harassed women and young girls while gauging their capacity to procreate, playing and touching any part of their body.
There you go, man. For all our women, and I'll put the link of this in the description box, both videos. All right, for all our women, because the main cheerleader for this beast, who's not just oppressed us, he's oppressed everyone else, is our women, man. And the ones of you women that are doing that, you're gonna perish, man. Believe that, man. And like I said, I got off. Sorry, I was a bit talking and too much. But as I said, my aunt, who I love dearly, December 27, 2019, and when I saw her, I went there to her house and stuff, a couple of days after Christmas, and she used to look down on the tribe of Benjamin, because she was And she probably might have been Benjamin herself, but she was from Nigeria and she was Yoruba, so she was an Israelite, right? And I warned her against that. And she knew that we're Israelites. She didn't do anything about it. I said, the Lord is not going to be happy with you hating your own people without a cause. Oh, they're this, they're that, they don't look after their kids. Oh, really? Like you Nigerians look after your kids. You know? Long story short, when the pandemic came, the Lord put her to death, man. And her death was not pleasant. She was ill in her house for a very long time, man. You know? Gasping for air. Alright? Just see, I'm saying you these things so you can fear the Lord. Because, well, let me stop talking, let me just get it, you know? But remember, when they were doing all of that to our women, for all you dumb, stupid slave women out there that are sticking up for them, they were calling themselves Christians. And where did they get the term Christian from? From us. Because we were ruling Europe before that. And we were ruling so long. I mean, from 325 AD up until what? The 1500s, you know, 1400s when we started to fall in certain places in Europe. We're the ones that introduced them to this Christianity stuff, and then they usurped us. All right. So while they were Christians going to church, they were doing that to our women. All right. Psalms 50 and 16. But unto the wicked, God saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes? God's statutes is in the Bible. They're calling themselves Christians, holy men of God, man. All right. Or that thou should take thy covenant in thy mouth. Yeah. This has got nothing to do with you, man. And what kind of Christian does that to a people who are helpless like that? And then they say, oh, you sold your own people, which is rubbish. All right. That's not the case. The majority of the times it was Hamites selling Israelites. All right. For example, this film, I saw it the other day, The Woman King. All right. Those people, those warriors, the Agoge, they were Hamites, man. And they were slave traders. All right. And the film showed them turning against the slave master and saying burn the trade to the ground. That's all fiction, man. When you look it up, and I saw it on YouTube, and I saw many other people talking about it, all right. And in that film, the port that they went to was called Port Ayuda, which means Judah, all right. So they were rounding up and selling our people, all right. So that woman that played the Woman King, what's her name? I can't remember her name. Viola Davis, all right. She was in that film, The Help. And she said that she regretted it. You know, she thinks she degraded herself. Well, you did degrade yourself being in that film, The Help. But you also degraded yourself being in that thing, The Woman King. Because it's fictional, man. They were Hamites and they were trading us. You know? And there's no place in history, as far as I've seen, with all the videos and all the websites that I've seen, all right, the history of them turning around and saying, we're going to burn the slave trade to the ground. You know, they hated us, man. And Dahomey was full of thick, they were heavily into witchcraft, man. And that's the reason why our people did not prosper in the end. Because once we was in that continent of Africa, we started doing the things that they did. And that's why the Lord did this, man. But your master that you're sticking up to, all right, he called himself a Christian. The Lord is saying, and he's calling them out, the wicked. What hast thou declared? What hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or thou should take that covenant in thy mouth? So why are you calling yourself Christians, man? When you're slavers, all right? Seeing thou hast hated instruction, verse 17, and casted my words behind thee. See, they've not lived up to any of those words and law, statute, commandments in the Bible. And really, we haven't either. So this is our opportunity to do it. All right? Because if we don't do it, we're worse than them because they're programmed to be wicked. They are the wicked. Okay? That's why the Lord put my aunt to death. And I miss her, but she's better off where she is. You know? She lost her husband. She lost her son, middle son. She was broken anyway, you know. All right. Verse 18. When thou sawest a thief, then thou contendest with him, and have been partakers with adulterers. Yeah, and that's this devil. All right. He's not a faithful man of his word. He's a usurper. He's an adulterer. 400 treaties with tribe of Gad, and he broke every one of them, man. Psalms 50 and 19. Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit. Yeah, 400 peace treaties. He didn't keep one, man. You know, and you stupid slaves over there in America actually celebrate Thanksgiving. You know, that's why the Lord is going to get rid of you. Please, Lord, man. You know, let death reign, man, on you Israelites that know all of this, and you just choose the things of this world, man. All right, we're not praying for you, man. Oh, that's not ungodly, brother. All right, really? Well, that's what the Lord said to Jeremiah when the Babylonians were taking up people down, man. He said, listen, he said Jeremiah was lamenting for his people, and the Lord said, what? Jeremiah 11 and 14. Therefore pray not thou for this people, all you ones that want to stick up for master, neither lift up a cry or a prayer for them. I will not hear them in the time that they cry unto me for their trouble. That's horrible, man. All right. I mean, look what happened over there in Hawaii, man. All right. People actually melted to death. You know? People melted to death. And some people were saying, I think it was on the Apostles when I was watching them, some people were saying that, you know, flames were coming from the sky. You know? And that could have been the chariots, man. Because the Lord does all these things. All right. Okay. So, cut off. He used that Bible. He took away words from the Bible. All right, to enslave us. So, right now, he's gonna reap exactly what he sows, man. But the main thing that we didn't do back then, you know, and the reason why he allowed all that to happen, even to be deported from Europe, is because even our monarchs, they were doing a lot of wickedness, man. You know, Queen, Henry VIII's daughter, Queen Elizabeth. You know, she worked with what's it called, Sir John Hawkins, man. All right, and he made the first slave ship called the Good Ship Jesus or something like that. Yeah, Jesus of Ludbeck, and she was a black woman, man. And when she came on the throne, apparently she wasn't doing well. The crown wasn't doing well, you know. So and remember we were scattered. So she probably didn't even know that those so-called blacks over there in Africa was her people, man. Or let's say she might have known, but she was so wicked anyway. Most of them monarchs were wicked, man. That's why the Lord allowed them to usurp us and put us in slavery, man. All right. And it's all because we didn't fear the Lord. Proverbs chapter 1 verse 7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Alright, it's the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. So my aunt was a fool. You know? I'm not going to say that to my cousins that are still mourning over her, my family, but she was a fool. She knew the truth, and she didn't care. She had more hatred for her own people than hatred for her slave master. So the Lord put her out of misery. Alright? I'm going to leave it at that. I give all praise, glory and honor to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Double honors to the Apostle Elsker Millstone that will well. Salutations to the Hakim, teach word and saving truth, and blessings to the elect. One for the Israelites scattered worldwide, predestined to be saved. Stay strong, stay in the